No matter your beliefs, whatever your dreams, we all have one thing in common. We call these islands home. Beautiful Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. However, they are threatened by our actions. But we can collectively begin a new path in which our economic prosperity and well-being does not irreparably damage our islands. Let's use our natural resources in conscious and sustainable ways so that future generations too can enjoy our home. Let's care for our environment and keep its litter free and beautiful. Let's all pledge to take action against climate change by changing our behavior and changing our lifestyles to protect our environment. Join us today and let's keep Grenada green and clean.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. My name is Troy, and this morning I will be demonstrating some standing ab workouts, right? So this is like a superset, right? Gonna make it real easy for you to follow. It's a standing ab variation to get your abs and your obliques in shape, all right? Now the first one we're gonna do, right, is a standing side crunch. You bring your knees up to your elbow and back down. 1, 2, 3, nice and easy. 4, slow and controlled. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Then you do an alternating standing crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nice and easy, 9, 10. Then you switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you switch to the alternating side crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you move into Russian standing twist. Russian twist, standing. You put your hands on your temple, you squat down, not too low, and you twist from left to right. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, keep looking forward. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys. Right, so this really works your abs, your obliques. If you don't want to go down on the floor, you can do the standing ab exercises to get your abs and your obliques in shape. So we're gonna do it one more time. All right, so this is like a routine, it's like a circuit, right? We want to get it done nice and proper. All right, guys, so we're gonna do 2 more sets of this superset, right? So I want you to follow me as we go along, right? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alternating side crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Then you switch. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alternating side crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Standing Russian twist, you go down into a squat and it twists from left to right or right to left, whichever you choose. 1, keep looking forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, left to right is 1, 9, 10. Good job, guys. So we're gonna do one more set, and that's gonna complete the superset. Let's go, guys. Don't give up now. Don't stop now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alternating side crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you switch. 1, 2, nice and controlled. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alternating crunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Russian twist. Let's go. You squat down, nice and easy. You keep looking forward and you twist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep looking forward. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Good job, guys. If you were following, so this is an ab workout that you can do in the morning or during the day or on evenings as well to get your abs and your obliques in shape. Thanks again for joining us. See you again next time.
Rise and shine. Rise and shine.
I am Tonya St. Louis Lawrence with the details. Sidewalk vendors in the town of St. George's are calling on the relevant authorities to intervene so they can sell their produce. According to them, they are harassed daily by the police. However, according to Corporal of Police Cordina Douglas McLean, though the RGPF may show compassion to the vendors, it is against the law to sell goods on the sidewalks. We get more in this report from Nikita Hostin.
We have a big problem on the sidewalk as usual. I only sell 2 days a week. I sell on a Friday and on a Saturday. And every time I come here to sell, the police running us, they pushing us around. The police and we back, move, move, move. Shift us here, push us here, we like sardine in tin. Everybody jam up. The people who walking on the sidewalk cannot see our goods to buy. It's not right for us. We suffering in Grenada. It's bad in our society, in the town of St. George. 3 years, we waiting on the market. Not all vendors that could be there.
The voice of one vendor after police instructed them to move to the designated space provided for them at the National Stadium car park. Last week, vendors were seen on the sidewalk on Melville Street trying to sell their independence merchandise ahead of Monday's celebration. This vendor, who operates in the market, a designated vending site, is in solidarity with the upset vendors on the sidewalk.
I find it's unfair for the people below NIS. Because if you check, NIS is the back street. Halifax Street is the main street in St. George's. And if you check, if you watch across there, people can go along and sell a foodland, vendors on both sides. Below CID is the next market. This is what they should also address. And the time by 4 o'clock, people can walk in front of foodland. So I see below NIS is a safe place they could sell there. People pass freely because I have a customer walking there freely.
However, Corporal of Police Kadina Douglas McLean says it is the RGPF's responsibility to make sure citizens comply with the law. She says while the RGPF may get complaints from the vendors that they do not have the appropriate place to carry out their trade, they also need to bear in mind that pedestrians are also crying out about space on the sidewalk.
The law is clear when it comes to the issue of vending, and as far as we are aware, that has not changed or adjusted. But in relation to the issue of sidewalk vending, while we may be aware that the market is presently under construction, we are also reminded that the government did make provisions for persons to vend in the stadium area. Notwithstanding that fact that some persons, based on the items they may be offering for sale, they chose to utilize the walkway, the sidewalks to do so, we have a responsibility as the police force to ensure that there's this balance.
Corporal McLean explained the law for persons who are in violation and some of the penalties.
Hanging up goods over footwear, places, hang-ups, or otherwise exposes for sale in any town, any goods or anything whatsoever, so that the same project into or over any footwear or beyond the line of any house or building at which the same are so exposed so as to obstruct or incommode the passage of any person along any footway. And that's just one of the sections under the Act that speaks to the illegal vending on the sidewalk. So in these instances, Ms. Austin, persons are liable to imprisonment for 3 months if they're found guilty, or to a fine of $1,000, or to both.
Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
Meanwhile, the Royal Grenada Police Force had their hands full for the past couple of days as the country recorded several criminal activities. Corporal Douglas McLean updated our news team on the recent happenings.
It's only the second month of the year and already the RGPF has recorded several crimes in the country. On Wednesday, Corporal of Police Kadina Douglas McLean updated the public on a robbery with violence that happened in Gun Battle, Guave on the 29th of January.
3 persons were arrested and charged in connection with that. They are Kevin Bernard, a 25-year-old fisherman of Edward Street, Kendall Martin, 28 years, also of Edward Street, a fisherman, and Marlon Lewis, 30 years, fisherman of Upper Depredon Street in Guelph. They were all charged for robbery with violence and were granted bail in the amount of $20,000 with 2 sureties. Also, they were given a number of conditions. They have to report to the Guelph Police Station every Monday and Friday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. They were also placed on a curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. until the matter is concluded, and they're also not to leave the state without permission from the court.
McLean says the men are scheduled to reappear in court on the 14th of April for that robbery. However, she spoke of another incident that happened in Guave last weekend that is under police investigation, where missiles were thrown at police officers.
Police were involved in an operation, and during that operation, missiles were thrown at them, and 3 persons were also arrested and charged for that. They are Kellon Ashton, 34 years, of Upper Depredon Street, Calvin Bernard, again, 25 years, of Edward Street, and Roland Henry, 27 years, of Upper Depredon Street. They were also granted bail in the amount of $7,500 with 1 surety.
One of the men responsible for throwing missiles at police officers is also on drug charges.
1 person in addition, they say Calvin Bernard, so he received 3 charges in all. He was also charged for trafficking a controlled drug, to its cocaine, and he was placed on bail initially for $25,000 with one surety. However, he was unable to secure bail, and he was subsequently sent to Her Majesty's, remanded to Her Majesty's prison until the 18th of February.
Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
Parliamentary representative for the town of Grenville says the Chinese restaurant owners who were viciously attacked on their way home several weeks ago are recovering, and has indicated that upon full recovery will resume operations in the not-too-distant future. Troy Gill is following this development.
The popular Chinese restaurant in Grenville has not yet reopened its doors since an unknown assailant attacked the owners, a mother and her son, on their way home several weekends ago. Parliamentary representative for the town of Grenville, Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford, who recently visited the family, provided an update on their status. In a telephone interview with MTV News, she said the mother is recovering. However, she still appears to be traumatized by the incident.
Well, I actually spoke with the Chinese, the manager, the owner of the restaurant in Grenville there. I've been in touch with them since the incident took place. It's very unfortunate, but just to let the public know, the wife is healing very well, but you know, it's still a bit shaken, and maybe not very comfortable yet to open up because they are looking after the mother. Also, the son was damaged as well. He had some injuries, but he's coming along very well. He's out and about in the streets now.
It is unclear how soon they will resume their operations, Horsford says.
I'm not sure exactly when they will be opening up, but I know that they was trying to get their mom in a more comfortable situation, because it's very traumatic what has happened, and still she hasn't overcome that trauma yet. But her husband is working on that, and I suppose in time, very soon, I believe, because speaking to Jack, he said to me, they're going to let me know when they will be opening up.
The Chinese restaurant is one of the more popular food outlets in the town of Grenville, she said, and many individuals are eagerly awaiting their return.
The amount of people that depend on the Chinese restaurant, I see them from time to time lining up all of the streets, and something like that would happen. But we expect them to open up soon. They're just trying to get things together, get more comfortable with the situation, and trying to make sure that the wife is feeling, reach to a point where she can, relax a bit.
Residents in the town of Grenville and surrounding communities expressed their outrage when the incident occurred, and as of late, no one has been arrested by police as investigations continue. For MTV News, I am Troy Gill.
For the first time, over 10 traffic signs will be erected around the island of Carriacou. According to the head of the Carriacou Traffic Department, Corporal Steve Sam, this was something the road users have been asking for quite some time. Donella Hostin has more.
In an effort to keep pedestrians and motorists in the know about the speed limit and turns and stop spots on the sister isle of Carriacou, officers attached to the Carriacou police station embarked on an initiative to erect signs around the small island. According to officer in charge of the traffic department in Carriacou, Corporal Steve Sam, this initiative commenced last weekend and happened when they realized that many people were unaware of the speed limits in certain areas.
On Saturday, the 5th of February, we've erected about approximately 8 signs, traffic signs. Some of them was speed limit signs, and some was stop signs, which was needed in Carriacou. Before there was not much, there was no speed signs at all. So we erected about a total of about 6 speed signs, warning persons and getting them to know the speed limit and so forth, because we found that some persons didn't even know the speed limit.
He made mention, too, of the stop signs that were put up in places such as Cherry Hill to ensure that the drivers follow the directions as it relates to vehicles coming to and from minor and major roads. Overall, approximately 10 signs will be erected.
About 10 signs in total. Yes, we replaced some of those that was fading in and around Carriacou.
Corporal Sam went on to say that in addition to these signs, the RGPF will be embarking on another road initiative to do road markings. This too, he says, is for the safety and knowledge of road users.
We are going to embark on a marking of the road now. In Hillsborough, in and around Hillsborough, there's a lot of ins and outs, markings on the road. So we would, just to remark the road and keep people in the know and visitors alike.
Reporting for MTV News, I am Donella Hostin.
Sailors from all over the world converged in Grenada to enjoy the island after crossing the Atlantic from the Canary Islands in the 5th Viking Explorers Transatlantic Rally. 20 boats participated in the event, according to the managing director and organizer of the Viking Explorers Rally, Oliver Solons.
The closing and prize-giving ceremony of the Viking Explorers Rally 2022 was held on Tuesday. The Viking Explorers Transatlantic Rally is the second edition in Grenada, and the race is in its 5th year. It's an exciting family-friendly exclusive rally with a maximum of 25 boats and a purpose to create a friendly environment for all ages. At the prize-giving ceremony, participants received prizes for their participation in the event. Some spoke of the event and their love for Grenada.
It's been so fun for us, and we enjoy this trip so much. We had a really great time together the whole way. We had sunshine, rain, fish, some wind sometimes. Yeah, a lot of fishes.
The dead octopus.
And yeah, we had a really great month together on the boat and here in.
And as for the Grenadan people, oh my God, you're the most beautiful island. You're the most friendliest, beautiful people that I've met, and it makes it even more special for me to come here and to be part of your beautiful world. And we're definitely coming back for the hurricane season, definitely.
It has been quite amazing. We arrived in about 8 o'clock at night. It felt about 3 o'clock in the morning. We were exhausted, but we had such a wonderful welcome here. Please think about it. It's been a wonderful experience, not just for them, hopefully, but for us. We have all learned so much about each other, and it's been a wonderful time. We've really enjoyed spending that time together.
It's been a wonderful experience. It's been a wonderful experience meeting all you people.
Managing director and organizer of the Viking Explorers Rally is Oliver Solons.
It is the Viking Explorers. It's a reduced group of sailors, maximum 25 boats, because we want to actually have a small little family. As we have seen on the presentations, everybody is delighted. Everybody knows each other. Everybody feels like a family. So this year was a very slow crossing.
He spoke of some of the challenges of organizing an event like this in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah, well, to organize an event like this, like an international event with a pandemic, I think is the hardest thing that someone can do, because that involves like a lot of traveling, and well, there you go. Last year, myself and Carlota, my other half, who are the main organizers of the rally, cancelled our flights. So we had to go back to Grenada, crossing the Atlantic with one of the boats of one of the participants. So you can imagine all the logistics and all this for doing such a rally. It's very, very hard.
MTV News, Donessa Panchu.
The Grenada National Council for the Disabled donated to the J.W. Fletcher Catholic Secondary School during the dedication ceremony of its health bay. We get more from Rachel Bain.
The handing over of the items and dedication of the health bay was held today at the J.W. Fletcher Catholic Secondary School and is named after St. Camillus, who dedicated his time to taking care of the sick. To commemorate the celebration of the school's 9th anniversary, Principal Laurel Bartholomew, during the dedication ceremony, spoke of the need to upgrade the school.
We are historically marking a facility that will better serve our children first and foremost, mainly, and our workers by extension, as we seek to take care of health needs. As we say here, every child matters. COVID-19 has signaled the need to upgrade. The idea of having this facility originally called sick bay, was to cater for students more so when they are not feeling well, to have a resting place until a parent can come for them if they need be, but we had no place.
Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Education is District Education Officer Natasha Thomas. Thomas says the government in the last year has invested approximately $400,000 into the upgrading of the school.
That there is a need to ensure that the physical structure of our educational institutions are adequate and the health and safety of the nation's students is kept as a priority. Under the allocated funding for schools repairs in 2021, the school's needs were assessed and rehabilitated to the tune of $400,000 EC dollars.
Handing over of the assistive devices to the school is Jamal Phillip, who is visually impaired. He spoke on behalf of the National Council for the Disabled.
It's a journey that we're just getting started with, and your school are the first to be chosen. So we will be providing, or this institution, with some assistive devices. There may be students here that are physically challenged. An incident may occur where someone may become physically challenged, which we hope would not be the case. But in the event that something like that should happen, those assistive devices would be just right.
For MTV News, Rachel Bain.
The tourism sector seems to be rebounding with an increase in visitor arrivals in comparison to 2020 and a marketing strategy that seems to be impactful. That's according to the CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Petra Roach. Rachel Bain has more.
As the world continues to grapple with the negative effects of COVID-19, governments have concluded that the virus is here to stay and they need to find creative ways to rebuild. Countries have begun relaxing their COVID-19 restrictions to create some economic improvement, and Grenada is no different. This action has increased the number of people visiting the island in 2021 in comparison to 2020, a period when the country was experiencing lockdowns and curfews. During the government press briefing, Chief Executive Officer of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Petra Roach, said almost 30,000 people visited the island, which includes stay-over visitors, yachties, and cruise visitors, with a total of approximately 11,502 air passengers,
which represented an increase of 1,288% over December in 2020. Total air passenger arrivals were 11,502, and if we break that down further, that actually meant that 9,557 were visitors, and we also had 106 student arrivals. And then the rest was made up of returning residents and other non-visitors. So that total was 1,839 passengers.
Airlift capacity, according to the CEO, remains a challenge. However, the GTA continues to work to improve that area.
Because it's still a very fluid situation. You know, it's dictated by market variables, and spikes in variants means that then you've got the responding protocols being implemented, which means that the airlines then reduce capacity or in some cases suspend capacity totally. So if I say where we are currently, in the US and the UK, we're back to our numbers in 2019. So American Airlines is flying daily. That was up from 3 times daily in November.
The GTA, Roach says, is working on a strong and impactful marketing strategy that is expected to increase the number of people visiting the island.
But then if we look at the total number for the years, including all the other sectors, from January to December, we had 42,100 long-stay visitors and 4,735 yacht visitors, bringing that to a total of 71,862 visitors. We've got some very aggressive forecasts for 2022, where we are anticipating that we will be very close back to 2019 numbers, where we have 142,922 long-stay visitors, 15,500 yachties, and 175,000 cruise passengers, approximately.
For MTV News, Rachel Bain.
Rise and shine.
Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine for today, Thursday. It is another beautiful day here in Grenada. It's the 10th day of February, 10 days already into the second month. And we are grateful to be alive. We are grateful to be here. I am your host, Oslin Crosby. And as always, it's another day for us to be a better version of ourselves. Help somebody today, say something pleasant. Try to do something nice for someone, as that's the reason why we are all here on this beautiful land. Excuse me. As human beings, we have a responsibility to help others, especially in their time of need. So today, it's a bit wet outside. We are grateful. We are in the dry season, and just a little bit of water. We know that our farmers are very, very grateful because it makes a difference. It makes their work a lot easier. But in addition to that, it keeps our very lush vegetation, keeps it looking green, and we are grateful for that. We are very, very grateful for that. So it's another wonderful day, another wonderful Thursday. So we always allow you to plan your day by sharing the weather report with you. It will be no different this morning, and with the rain, I know some people, whenever rain starts falling, you want to know what's happening. So we'll be going over to the Met Office now, and we speak to Andre Charles, who will be sharing the weather forecast with us today. Good morning, Andre.
Good morning to you.
Thank you so much, Andre, and that's the weather report for this morning and for the day. Please use it as a guide as to prepare what to expect with the condition. We are into the dry season, but we do realize that we are getting some mixed conditions. We're getting some mixed weather. We are getting some water, and of course we do have the expected hot conditions. So let's be guided accordingly. This morning we should be speaking some cricket, a cricket competition out there in St. David's, and also about the launch of a math program, Ministry of Education. What we will do now is take a quick break. When we come back, we should have our first guest on.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers.
chargers and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
How do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Renelec, energizing our Grenada.
She was my life, caring for me, loving me from a baby. COVID came and she never left the house. She felt safe there. Just turned 80. She kept saying, "Son, go take the vaccine so you could come and see me. I miss you." And never did. Because I'm young and I'm strong, and people on Facebook say the vaccine don't really protect you. I went to see her because I thought I was fine. I had no symptoms. She was so happy to see me. I had COVID and I did not even know. Being vaccinated would have helped. I just know it. I just know it. I'm so sorry, Granny. I'm so sorry.
This message is brought to you by the Grenada COVID Crisis Group and the Grenadians United in Virginia.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. Just in case you are just joining us, we're about to get into our first discussion for the morning. As I indicated before we went on the break, we will be speaking some cricket this morning. And on with me this morning is a cricket enthusiast, cricket coach, very, very passionate about the game, Mr. Raphael Croney. He's also one of our officers in the Ministry of Sports. But this morning he's speaking to us in the capacity as president of the St. David's Cricket League to speak all about a St. David's Cricket Tournament that's getting ready to start. So, Mr. Croney, good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine.
Well, very good morning to you and good morning to our viewers or listeners, wherever you are this morning. Pleasant morning.
It's a pleasure speaking with you about something that you love, so I know it will be quite an interesting conversation. I expect it to be very, very interactive as always when it comes to you and this game, because we know there's something about you and this game that's special. You remind me a lot of my father. Whenever it comes to cricket, it's him. And I think it's the same thing with you.
Certainly, it has done a lot for me. As you know that I've played for Grenada, for the Winnots at the under 19 level. And since then I've been administrator, really, so it has done quite a lot for me.
Excellent, excellent. Whatever has given so much to you, why not give back to it, right? I can support that. I can definitely support that. Mr. Croney, let's speak about the St. David's Cricket Tournament. When will it be happening? Why do you want to do this? Outside of your passion, it is a game that we know keep our communities together over the years. We look forward to it. So let's speak about that tournament.
Well, let me say, first of all, that, I was privileged to lead the St. David's Cricket League. I think I started just about late 2016 after the passing of former President Stanley Roberts. Actually have been on that council for quite a number of years, probably last 15 to 20 years. So I actually took up the realm just about 2016. And with the passion that I have, certainly I felt that I had the ability to lead and to make something different. And this is really one of the driving forces that got me to get into this administration role. We would have done, and let me say that St. David would have done very well, really from about 2017, when we would have captured the National Association League titles. We would have done a triple in that we have taken the three tournaments on the 15, on the 19, and the senior tournament. We would have done that in 1 year. So really, I think that St. David's would have done well over the years. And coming into the pandemic, which have been a challenge, really, really challenging time. We were pleased that we were able to have some form of cricket being played in 2020.
Yes, well, Mr. Crony, I think we understand fully well why you get involved. And now, with your involvement now, this competition, I'm sure, is a way of keeping the sport alive and that level of camaraderie. If you're speaking of your successes, we know that success can better be relayed and continued whenever people have more and more opportunities to play. Speak to us about the tournament. I am thinking that that's the way it came from.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, in December, October, I think it was when we met, we felt strongly based on the situation we faced with the pandemic, which was very difficult for sports. We felt, that it would have been good for us to start some form of cricket in St. David's. We know it have been challenging not only for, we as administrators, but the players. For say we had the teams had a lot of difficulty, and we saw it as a means of trying to get some activity again, just to maybe take off some of the stress in terms of what have been happening. So we aim to start that tournament in
Just a bit of a technical glitch there with Mr. Crony. He will be back on. It seems as though he might have just dropped off the connection. He might have lost. So we will await him. But as we do, he was speaking about the St. David's Cricket Tournament. Just going back to its source, why they're having it. It is very important from what Mr. Crony was sharing with us, is that St. David's over the years have been doing very, very well. And one of the reasons for this is because it's a continued playing. Village competitions, some of the national players we know also come from that area. So to keep that sporting discipline alive, you have to organize competitions. With that in mind, the tournament is just about to get on the way, and it is the hope that it can reap the continued benefits that it has done in the past. Sports always a way to bring our communities together. In Grenada, it is traditional that sports, we know on a Sunday, we would go out to look at football. Well, I know for me, coming from the western side, on a Sunday, it's a football Sunday, or on a Saturday, it may be a cricket Saturday. Even on a Sunday, it's cricket. So it's always a way to always bring our communities together. And we cannot underscore the importance of this. It is who we are. It is what helped make us who we are. And we often speak of culture. We are still well within that independence realm of things, discussions and so. And sports is one of the ways that we bring our communities together. Outside of it, providing discipline to our young people or players, we know that it gives us so many more benefits. So Mr. Crony is back on. Mr. Crony, you can continue with us now. We realize you just had a little glitch there. Oh, and your mic is mute, so unmute your mic and let's go.
We were very, very pleased to be able to start this tournament. We felt we wanted to bring the players together, to have some form of activity, just to restore some interest, to have them active. And with it in mind, we sat and we planned to have this T20 tournament, which started just around the 22nd of January. I must also say that we were pleased to have some support from Minister Oliver Joseph, who have graciously accepted the opportunity to give us some support to make sure that tournament is being played. We have 5 teams in the tournament, and I must say at this point in time, the games have been going on very smoothly. I think we saw players from as far as St. Patrick's being involved in the tournament. Players are eager to play cricket, and therefore we are pleased to see the sort of turnout that we have been having and the level of cricket that is being played.
In the past, has COVID affected the participation? I know COVID seems to be affecting everything, but we know that people right now are yearning for something outside of having to be inside. So what has the response been during this pandemic?
Let me just say that we would have looked at all avenues where something can happen. And you know that the fact that we were not able to have any sports, we had to really go to the basic channels, making sure we put everything in place in terms of the protocols and so forth to try to make sure that happened, get the necessary permission, and as such, I sort of reach out to the teams just to make sure that cricket is being played. So much so that we have the teams playing, and really we have asked them to pay a fee for the tournament, which is normal. So we would have done the extra just to make sure that some form of cricket can be played. And I must say that we are pleased with what has happened so far.
I think it's quite encouraging to know that it has not dampened the spirit of the game and of anyone. Expectations. 5 teams in competition. Knowing, I'm sure you know some of the teams, some of the players. Expectations for this competition.
Well, it gives us also an opportunity to look at the players we have. And I think it's important for me to make this point here because the last 2 years, we have not been able to have any form of cricket in the parishes. The schools, I think, which is a foundation, where we'll be looking to look for youngsters on the 15, on the 19. We have not been able to do that over the last 2 years. So one could imagine how difficult it is in terms of finding players going forward. It will be a challenge for us going forward, and I see not necessarily St. David, but cricket in Grenada would be a serious challenge. The fact that our youngsters have not been able to play. There have been no school tournament. As you know, there were things like the United Insurance, they were the under 15 tournament, Independence tournament, so nothing like that happened. So it really puts us in a position where we have not the opportunity to see players. And therefore, it makes it even so hard. I think this is why, I think it was good that we were able to start some form of tournament. We are actually looking at the tournament. Therefore, we're looking to pick out some of the players that we would have seen. We have young players. We have older players being playing. So I think it gives us that opportunity to begin to move forward in terms of identifying the players that we think that can move to the next stage.
What are your plans on that continued development track? We know cricket right now, sports is a huge profession. You can use it. We know with discipline that there's so far, you can go so far. We have seen it with a lot of our local players. What are the plans to continue that development?
Yeah, so going forward, coming out of this tournament, we are expected to select a number of players that we think that we can now begin to train, begin to really seriously train in terms of going forward. There is an under 19 tournament to be played, I think later on this year, and I think as early as April. There's an under 15 tournament to be played, and there's also a senior tournament to be played. So hope going forward is to make sure that we identify players that can represent the parish at the under 15 level, at the on the 19 level, also at the senior level. It therefore means also that we're going to be having some sort of community program where we will ask the youngsters, for instance, the schools. No, we are not able to go to the schools that we used to. No, but we can ask them to come out in the afternoon so we can try to put together, a squad of players at the under 15 level to work with. And same day on the 19 is a bit easier. They're not actually in school. But our hope going forward is that we are able to put together these teams. So again, that we can compete. We can look to, provide the sort of players that will be able to represent the Grenada team, and not only Grenada, but onto the winners and all also the West Indies team. With that in mind, I think it might be good for me to even pitch this in that Teddy Bishop, who is a former St. David's player who would have played at the under 15 level or on the 19 level, has now reached to the West Indies 40 tournament, and he's one of the players that represented West Indies at the under 19 level. And we are hopeful that he probably is one of the players that is being looked at, even at a senior level. Probably the closest player, in my view, that from Grenada that have the opportunity to get onto the West Indies team. So I think a lot has come out, and there's a lot of hope. I mean, that there's a lot of interest, that would cause us really to push to make sure that we have these programs.
Yes, we can see here a lot of reasons to keep doing it, a lot of reasons to keep doing it, as we are providing much needed opportunities for our young people. We know the academic and the sport goes together, but for some that may be challenged somewhat with academic, they do have an opportunity or an avenue for them to grow and develop. And I think that's very, very important. That's important. Mr. Coney, sure, go right ahead.
Just to say that, I'm happy that you said that the academic and the sport goes together. And at one time, one thought or the expectation was that you forget the sports and you concentrate on the academics. But let me say that our better players are really strong academically, and therefore I think, as you rightly say, it goes together. And I think once one understand that you being strong academically, it really, really put you in a better position to play better cricket, to move really, really higher in the area of sports.
Yes, it does. And that is something that we have to keep driving home with our young ones. We tend to think that with our young people, that sport is the only thing that we need, but the academics critical. The game is a science, and you have to understand it. If you don't have the academic backing, then you can be lost. At the end of the day, you will be limiting yourself. Natural abilities, that's your, as we call, your entry requirement. But to stay in the game and be successful at the game, you need the academic backing so that you understand what the game is all about. I know they're listening. I do hope that when they think about it, that they can now couple those two, and we can have a lot more successful players on the West Indies team. I'm not sure if I missed it. When will the competition be starting? And if you do have your fixture already, what are your first games? And when can people, will it be on the weekends, during the week? And any limitations as to crowd support, spectators coming out and being a part of it with COVID and everything?
Yeah, well, for this particular tournament, which started on the 22nd, is down to conclude on the 26th of February. And I think that I'm happy that is going pretty smoothly. We're on track to finish just around the 26th. Now, in terms of the crowd support, as you know, it's one of the areas that I think we have not been doing too well in cricket in Grenada generally, not necessarily in St. David. So there are cricket lovers that probably will come around, but no big crowds have been coming to see the cricket, and we expect that. Particularly at this point in time. Again, if I can just move a little away from the St. Davis League and look at our cricket generally, they have to have something that will cause persons to come out to play cricket. The interest, maybe the quality of the players, and it's generally seen around the region. But we are sort of used to what is happening in St. Davis in terms of the crowd support, the diehard, the people that are interested, they won't come around and look at the game, but not big crowd. But I'm happy to see that, a number of players have been involved, and you see players come in and show support. And I think this is really positive. St. David's, last just where the game is being played, as you know, it's a large facility, so it gives us the option to display the protocols and the closed gathering and so forth. We have the space, so we can do that. And I must hasten to say that you even find that mask wearing continues, like umpires are even masked. And I think it's a good sign. We are trying to do as much as we can to make sure that everyone stays safe.
Well, that's good. I'm happy that at least, even though we are outdoors and we know it's safer to be outdoors, that at least we continue to adhere to the protocols as we can try to control this beast that we seem not to be able to tame, but as we try to control this beast called COVID. Mr. Crony, any parting words as you continue this tournament? Any point standing that you may have for us as to the teams participating in the 5 teams? We know you started on the 22nd. You'll be concluding in February. So it means that we may just have a point standing as to where the teams are, who's leading the table, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but what I could tell you, Super Kings is one of the top teams in the tournament. They haven't lost yet. They are standing really tall on 12 points. We find all the other teams is probably on 8, and there are 3 teams on 8 points, and then you have the others on 4 points. So Super Kings is in front on 12 points, and they look really focused to go through to the finals. The team that wins this preliminary rounds will go straight to the finals, and the team that comes second and third, they're going to play off for the next final place. That will take place next Saturday, and the following Saturday, which would be the 26th, where we should be concluding the tournament. So I'm very pleased that there has been no hiccup. Again, one can see that the players are staffed and really want to play cricket, so they're really coming out to these matches, and this is a good feeling. Before I close, I just want to say this in regard to development. This is just a little bit on the Grenada Cricket Association and front. I'm also being one of the representatives of the Grenada Cricket Association. We are focusing on development of women's cricket, and we have started last Saturday in St. Patrick's, where we're looking to develop under 17 women cricketers. So we have a sort of talent identification program where we went to St. Patrick's last Saturday. We'll go to St. Andrews this Saturday, and then we close it in St. George's the following Saturday. Now, coming out of this, we are going to select a squad. We're going to have further training that will start in March. At the end of the day, the whole intention is that we have a nucleus of players that we can work with. Women's cricket is so big now, and a lot of input is being made by the West Indies board, the winners board. So we at the Cricket Association is really running off for this program and trying to develop our women cricketers. So at least we can have persons again representing us, reaching at the top, and really making Grenada proud. So, we are encouraging young ladies to be part of it. We are looking to touch base with some of the schools to make sure we have players coming out to this session.
Good. That's very good, Mr. Crony. I want to continue to commend you and your team at the St. David's Cricket League for this continued dedication to the sport, ensuring that our young people can have avenues to develop, not just young people, but we know sport is across the board. It may be your passion, you may be a retired player, but you can continue to do something that you love, you're an enthusiast, you have a place when you can be a part of the activity. So, Mr. Crony, to you and your team, we want to commend you on this. All the success we wish you. You've already started, so it means that you're in for a big climax on the 26th of February. We wish you the best, and may the best team win. From all indication, there seems to be one that's poised to take the title. Hoping nothing changes. We know how sports can be, but from all indications, it looks as if they will be the one that will be victorious. So, to all the teams, best of luck, and at the top of the table, continue to do your due. Mr. Crony, again, thank you. And I will continue to encourage the women to be a part of that tournament that you are encouraging them to be a part of. We know that cricket is no longer just a male-dominated sport, but we're also including the females. Thank you again, Mr. Crony, and have a pleasant day.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. That was Mr. Raphael Crony, president of the St. David's Cricket League, speaking about that competition that is going on in the parish. It started on the 22nd of January. Will be going up until the 26th of February. So we do have some of the teams, one team that has not lost any of the games at the top of the table on 8 points, the others on 4, and they continue to compete. Healthy competition, all well within the COVID-19 protocols, and we have to encourage all the people who adhere to them, as it's important that we play our part if we are to tame this beast that we have out there named COVID, that for some odd reason just don't want to leave us. So we have to do our due. We all have a responsibility in this. Remember, one's safety is your responsibility. So do what you need to do. And again, we commend the team out there, Mr. Crony and his team, for that competition that's ongoing. It has bore fruits in the past, and I'm sure there'll be many more that will be coming from that competition. So to all, the best we wish, and all success to the team out there. So that's our first conversation. What we're going to do now is take a quick break. When we come back, we should be speaking education.
You at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
How do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Renelec, energizing our Grenada.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we did have our first conversation this morning talking cricket. It was quite an interesting conversation as Mr. Crony gave us a lot more than just the competition. He spoke to us about the background behind the competition, the benefits of the competition to the community, and what he's hoping it will continue to give this country as it relates to the love and growth of the sport on Ireland. He also spoke about a women's element to it, that they're encouraging our women to get involved in the sport. We have heard of Afi Fletcher. So many women in the region have benefited from the sport. It means that there is no limit as to what you can get, but you just need to apply yourself. So there's an opportunity, and we want to encourage our women to get involved in the sport. It is no longer cricket for men. It is cricket for women and men. So to our girls out there that may love the sport, might be looking at your father or mother involved in it, and you want to be, you're not limited. You can be involved. You can be involved in it. We should be speaking education now and the launch of a math program, but our guest is not on as yet with us. So what we will do is just chit-chat a little bit. We do have some sad news. We have lost another icon. We have lost another great contributor to this country. Just last night, the news circulated that the country is in mourning as we lost Miss Ursula Antoine, MBE, retired principal and teacher of the St. George's Anglican Senior School. She did pass at the age of 74. Mrs. Antoine is the mother of the current governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, our very own Timothy Antoine. And she has contributed. She has contributed as an educator, as a mother, as one who's always trying to encourage people to give of themselves and a lot more. And we do extend condolences to her family, all of them, on this her passing. It is quite a loss for this country. It is a loss, but her memory and contribution will live on. It will live on through her work. So to the Antoine family and extended Sandy family, we say our condolences from MTV on the passing of Mrs. Ursula Antoine, MBE. In addition to that, we lost Ms. Joan Venture, one of the proprietors of St. Andrew, a pillar of the business community. We lost her a couple of weeks ago, and today she will be laid to rest. To her family, we also extend condolences, and we know that her contribution in St. Andrew, it would not fall on the ground. She has contributed immensely, and we want to encourage the family to stay strong. While yes, she's no longer with us, her contribution, though, will definitely make a difference in our tomorrow, the business life, the business community. And as we continue to move along, it's important that we remember these stalwarts and what they have contributed to our country. Nation building, not just the parish, because remember, when the parish booms, so too is our country. And we want to extend condolences to the family as they lay her to rest today in St. Andrew, that she will be missed, of course, from the reviews. She will be missed, but her contributions will live on. So there's a lot happening here on the island, but our COVID numbers continue. We still have them from press post-cabinet briefing. We know that it was a festive weekend here last weekend, Independence. Let us hope that we don't see another spike. Let us hope that we don't see another spike. We know that that's the trend. Whenever we do have a festive weekend, by the next couple of days, maybe by the end of the week, then we might see our numbers skyrocketing again. It's important that we are responsible. Yes, we want to go out. Yes, we want to just let loose. It's important for people to do that. But in the midst of all that's happening, it's important that we still remain. We remain very, very conscious that we are still living within the pandemic. It's not over. It is not yet over. It is still among us, and it is wreaking havoc. So we need to be very, very, very mindful of this, very, very conscious, and we need to be responsible. Let us wear our masks. We know that we see that sporting activities are coming back somewhat, some cricket, some football, but as we do so, let's do so responsibly. Let's do so responsibly. It's now 8 minutes past 8 o'clock in the morning. You know that most of our workers are. Your day starting at 8, that you are ready at the workplace. We wish you a productive day. Please stay focused, stay positive. What's the plan for the day, and show that you can achieve your goals set out for the day's work. And that at the end of the day, today you would go the extra mile to help someone, and more so that you can stay positive in this very, very tough time. You may have every reason to look down, but I encourage you to keep your head up. Keep looking up. Keep standing. It's important that you do so. So our guest is still not on yet with us. What we're going to do is take a quick break, and when we come back, hopefully we can get to speak to that person, or if not, then we will conclude for the morning.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business.
For your education.
For your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
How do you know if it is working?
We pay a usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Energize our Grenada.
Rise and shine. Rise and shine.
Welcome back. So as we indicated before we went on the break, that we should be speaking education this morning, and our second guest is on. So now who we have on with us is the Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Angela Findlay, who will be speaking about the launch of the math program. It is a very important program that the ministry is launching, and we know that if we have been following the news, the results from our past couple of years of math exams or external exams, we have been seeing a decline. And out of this, the ministry has seen it important to strategize and come up with a program that can help, that can better prepare our students for these external exams so that our results numbers can improve. Whenever our students excel, the country excels. It means, therefore, that we will be in a better place. So this morning, Mrs. Findlay will be here to speak to us about it. Mrs. Findlay, good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine.
Good morning, Ms. Crosby.
Today we are speaking about an important program that the ministry is getting ready to roll out, a math program. For the past results, from the past external exams results, we have been seeing a decline in our math, in results for our math subject, the subject of math from our students. And I know the ministry has sat back, looked at the pattern, and come up with a strategic program that is geared at helping our students better prepare so that we can get better results. Speak to us about the program, the objective, and when it will be launched.
Okay, yeah. I have not been hearing you clearly. If there is...
Yes, I'm hearing you. Oh, you are not hearing me. Okay. Can you speak to us about the program?
Okay. So today marks the official launch of what is a very significant event in the history of education within Grenada. To just under 2 hours from now, we are expected to be part of the launch of a project, and I should say something that started as an idea about what we can do to significantly improve on the achievements of students in the area of mathematics. For more than a decade now, it has become almost a buzzword that too many children are falling behind, too many children are falling through the cracks when it comes to their attainment in mathematics. Concerned that our children would not be part of that global trust to embrace science, technology, and engineering and mathematics, or careers in that field, what we call STEM. So we have started various initiatives in the field of education at the Ministry of Education. There have been many interventions to support better performances for students. We had over 30 persons trained in supported by the Ministry of Education to acquire degrees in mathematics and science education. facilities have been enhanced in schools, putting persons to lead as mathematics teachers in the schools and offering them many opportunities through curriculum reform led by the OECS. We had the OECS Education Support Project, where we were able to realize the revision of standards, the establishing of standards for teaching of mathematics throughout the primary school from K to 6. And this year now is what epitomizes that greater trust to ensure that something happens with students and for students to greater position them to access the many opportunities that are available, all needing a base in mathematics, competence in mathematics. So we are about to herald the start of a project that has been coined as TEAMS, Targeted Engagements to Enhance Mathematical Success. And this is scheduled for 10 a.m. today.
What format will it take? How will students be involved? How will we get our children involved in the program?
Don't know why the audio is coming over low. Could you just repeat the question, please?
What format will it take? How will we get our children involved in the TEAMS program?
How would we get children more involved? This project is an all-encompassing one. I should say it has evolved out of a request by our Minister of Education, having been involved in many consultations, and so since she took up office as Minister of Education, she tasked a group of persons led by Dr. Brunton at the T.A. Mary Shaw Community College to come up with a proposal that would be used to sustain interest and develop competence of students in mathematics. So out of that project proposal, we now have, out of that draft plan, that proposal, we now have what is the project TEAMS, which would see interventions, targeted interventions, embracing all levels. It would be led by a task force of about 15 persons. That task force contains persons with expertise at the tertiary level, at the primary school level, and at the preschool level. And that body would lead on what has been drafted as a number of initiatives looking at support for students to prepare SBAs, revision of curriculum, creating of scopes of work by term for students, revisiting the internal assessments, supporting teachers with developing competence in using alternative modes of assessment, summer programs for students who are falling behind. And we know that there is that worry with the advent of COVID and what has happened with students being away from the classroom, some not connecting via the e-learning modality in the type of manner which we desire to ensure that they can cover a sufficient portion of the curriculum. So it's a number of initiatives. We have retired persons involved in it as well, persons who have served in the area of mathematics over the years. So we are very happy that we are at this stage, and it would require significant support, continued dedication of time and effort to really have the tenets of this project come to its full fruition.
It's quite a comprehensive one, very comprehensive. Measuring, when and how will you be measuring its success? Because I know it is a strategy, so at some point we have to measure it, and I'm sure we'll be measuring it before exam results come out.
Right, and I don't know, it's forever your voice dips as you, right.
I was was asking Miss Finley, how will you be measuring how successful it is?
Okay, as with all projects, if we truly want to measure our success, we must have baseline data. So as our baseline data, we are looking at the average measure of success that students have enjoyed over the years as it relates to mathematics. So we have performance of students for the past 10 years. We're going to zero in on performance of students over the past 10 years in mathematics. So that's our exit, our key stage assessments. So we have our MCTs grade 2, MCT grade 4, MCT grade 5, our CPA result, our CSEC results, and also our CAPE results. So this data from that of that nature would be used to establish our baselines.
Okay. Well, you say officially we launched today. When we launch today, when will we be getting into the schools with it? Because I know that would be the media launch, but when we actually start in earnest in our schools?
When would we actually start to see the project rolling out? Well, I must say, it has already started. That's why we are saying not the launch, but the official launch. Because I must say that small team that was put together to do the proposal, they have been doing much more than that. So, for example, in this first year, because of the urgency of getting all students who leave the school system more competent, a lot of the activities for year 1 would centered around supporting students of Form 4 and Form 5, because most of them would be exiting the school system. Some may go on to tertiary education, but when you look at the number of students who graduate every year, those who go on to pursue tertiary education is a small number. So ensuring that that group of students who will transition and may not pursue higher studies would at least have that added support to be better capable of writing their exit exams, as the CSEC exams, and also being more capable and confident to use their mathematical skills in whatever endeavor they would undertake immediately after graduating from high school. Within that year, though, we do have some other things such as summer programs. So the small team, who would be strengthened by the extension of the task force within the coming weeks and months, are working to have a summer program in place that can support students who are flagged at their schools as being at risk, and there will be the resources, e-resources, etc., that would be made available to students so that they can continue to boost their confidence and competence in mathematics.
Are there any limits on form or school, primary or secondary, for this program, or will it be throughout the education system?
Okay, and again, I haven't got the end of your question.
Okay, are there any limits as to the forms or schools that will be beneficiaries of the program, or will it be across the education system?
The program and the initiatives that are designed up to this point are basically targeting students at the within public schools. But there is scope within there to allow persons within private schools to benefit as far as our resources allow. Okay? Because definitely when you think of revision of content and syllabuses and curriculums, those documents are shared. They are made available to private schools as well. When we have workshops, as far as it is possible, we also seek to involve persons within private schools in our workshops, and support is also provided to them by members of the curriculum division.
Okay.
So it's really a national project.
That is what I was wondering, because if our numbers are still fluctuating and we want to get them better, then we know that we would have to start earlier. So I'm sure some parents may be wondering how their children can get involved at an early age so that by the time they get to the exit forms that they are where we would want them to be.
As I said again, this project it brings it to a peak as to what the Ministry of Education is trying to do for students within schools in the area of mathematics. A big driving force for that as well would be the broadband internet, where persons can access a lot of our content online, and even for themselves in schools, be able to access information that is available on the information highway, as you would say. So even with the access to technology and the broadband internet, that too is a plus, and that is also extended to all private schools.
Mrs. Finley, thank you so much this morning for sharing this information. It's quite encouraging because we know as parents we are very worried as to what's happening with our children now with the pandemic, how schools are, the disruption that the pandemic has created. So the program, we are looking forward to seeing its full benefits because we know it will be capturing that important part of our children's education, their development. Now that we will be giving them, we'll be focusing on math, which is very, very crucial in so many ways in the development of a child. Any parting words from you, Ms. Finley?
In closing, I just want to appeal to all stakeholders to see this project, teams, targeted engagements to enhance mathematics success as a baby, the birth of a new baby. And as we know, it takes a village to raise a child. So over the next 3 years, we are counting on the support of the entire nation to ensure that this baby develops and that the ultimate goals of this project will be realized, being greater success for every student and the development of more enlightened citizens that are more competent in the area of mathematics.
Yes, I do wish the ministry the very best on this one. It's a very comprehensive program, and we are looking forward to the benefits from this initiative. So Mrs. Finley, to you and the team again at the ministry, thank you, and we continue to do what we need to do to ensure our tomorrow is safe.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, and very good day to you. I hope that you would be able to tune in and take part in be part of the virtual audience for today's activity. Yes.
I will. Thank you so much, Mrs. Finley, and do have yourself a wonderful day. That was Mrs. Angela Finley, the Chief Education Officer. She spoke to us about the official launch today of that math program from the Ministry of Education, abbreviated TEAMS. And parents are encouraged, all stakeholders are encouraged to be a part of it, as it will benefit the overall growth and development of our children in the area of math. We know that math offers a lot more than being able to count, problem solving, logistics analysis. It gives us a lot more, and it's important that we encourage our children to understand the fundamentals of this very, very important subject. Let's not run away. There's a myth that it is not nice, but it is very, very important as to how far we can go, how well we can do, and let us not create that myth of phobia that in our children, that math is this fearful subject. We need to figure out how to make it fun and encourage them to be involved in it, as it is very, very important for their development. So to the ministries, kudos on this one. Continued work. We know that we are looking to see the benefits from this, as it is a more hands-on intervention as to how we can change the course of our results, our students, as it relates to math here on the island. And that's where we conclude for this morning. It's already 8:30. So to all our viewers who was on this morning with us, we do appreciate you welcoming us into your homes, your offices, your vehicles. If you're in the diaspora, thank you so much for joining us. Our sponsors, thank you for supporting this initiative. The team, Tanya, Chad, thanks again. The extended MTV team, thank you again for another opportunity to come here and start your day right. Share information and give you that, what we call positive start to what will be a remarkable day. So, from me to you, I'm your host, Jocelyn Crosby. I wish you the very best. Do have yourself a wonderful day, a safe one. Remember, we are still living within the pandemic. Be safe, be responsible, wear your mask, adhere to the protocols. Do what we need to do to ensure that we can get out of this storm together, not losing any more people, because remember, our actions don't just affect us, it affects others. Do have yourselves a wonderful day. I will be back here with you, God's will, next Tuesday when we do this all over again. Have a good day, everyone.
Rise and shine.